enjoy it because it's very soap opera-ish. So
it is.
I love it. I love when it gets juicy like this. I love it.
It's very entertaining. Now I'll give them that. There's no shortage of things to talk about. It's it's not boring at all. It's extremely entertaining. Somebody said they're the Steelers, but they're stealing the headlines these past couple of weeks.
Yeah, that's good. I'd agree. You guys definitely the most talked about team, and you guys didn't make the playoffs, and you guys should have made the playoffs. It's just it has been that type of season. It happens to the best of the franchises, seriously, but this has been that type of season for you guys.
Yeah, it just wasn't our year. But the Rams look really good. How do you think they're gonna attack the Rams? And it's in LA, although I don't think that's much of a home field advantage, but still, I mean, they are at home. How do you think the Cowboys are going to do against the Rams?
I think honestly they have a really good chance. As you just mentioned, the Rams being home isn't much of a home advantage. There are tons of Cowboy fans in LA. They practiced out there for so many years. That's it's gonna be like a neutral territory, like kind of thing. It's not just gonna be. It's just gonna. It plays into the hands of Dallas. Because obviously I'm a Dallas fan and the Eagles are in the division. They're the rivals. I actually was pulling for the Eagles to beat the Bears because I did not want to go down to the Dome. I didn't want us to have to go down to New Orleans.
Yeah.
I actually wanted Philly to win because I knew that we'd be playing on this type of, turf in LA. They need to run the ball. I think Dallas is like, at this point, if you include last week's win, when Zeke gets 30 or more touches, I think that they're 6-0. And I can double check that stat. But when he gets 30 or more touches, he's 6-0. We're 6-0. That has to be the formula. They already know. They just need to stick to it. The defense needs to play outstanding. Sean McVay is a brilliant coach. He will figure you out. He will make adjustments. Dallas cannot be predictable. That's for sure. And I think that they have a really good chance. Todd Gurley is not 100%. Jared Goff doesn't scare me too much. Not with the defense that, we've had all year. So I think they have a pretty good chance. They're coming in at 7-point underdogs, though. So
I have to agree. I think the Cowboys do have a pretty good chance. Apparently LA's run defense is not that good. And you put Zeke against a bad run defense, you could just be running up and down the field the whole game.
Yeah, their defense allows about 5.1 yards a game.
Wow.
So I believe that their defensive top plan is without a doubt to contain him. But Dallas cannot abandon the run. I don't care if he's picking up 1 yard a carry. They cannot abandon the run.
Right.
Because I know for sure that is going to be the Rams' focus is number 21 coming out the backfield. So they stick to the game plan, not abandon the game plan, and I think they have a real good shot here at making it to the NFC Championship.
Yeah, I think that's the key right there. If they're able to run on the Rams, and when you're running, you're eating up the clock. And when you're eating up the clock, that's time that's you're eating up also.
Yeah.
And it's time that's being taken away from the Rams being on the field, their offense. So that's the key right there. So that's going to be really interesting.
I think so too. I was actually watching the NFL Network today, and golf and stats for their careers are quite similar. I wish I could go back to the stats, but I think that their pass percentage is, I think Dak is like 65% career-wise, and golf is like 67%. They're like 2 or 3 off as far as the amount of touchdowns. It's very similar in quarterback. So Dak has to show up as well because Jared Goff has been playing so good this year. And, 2 years ago, everybody thought he was just going to be a bust, and he has just completely turned that around. So it's going to be real interesting.
Yeah, and the Rams had an awesome year last year also, and they played at home, and they just played horribly in the playoffs. So maybe that'll happen again. So
that's going to be
see.
big if that happens. I know people are going to have a lot of questions for like McVay maybe, like, or for for McVay and Goff, like, okay, so can you guys not win in the playoffs at home back-to-back years and you can't win a playoff game? So, I think that the pressure is definitely on Goff to perform too.
Could be.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Thanks for coming on. So
Thanks
glad
for having me.
found you, Ashley Baker. So what's your podcast going to be about? Nothing but sports, huh?
About nothing but sports. So juicy, just your hottest sports topics. We're definitely going to discuss. I'm going to debut it the week after the Super Bowl. It's going to be, this is actually inside information. I haven't told anybody, but it's going to debut February the 7th. And that's right after Super Bowl, so we'll have tons of stuff to talk about. It's going to be a little gossip on there. Like I said, I'm a girl, so I enjoy sports gossip. I enjoy the soap opera-ish part of sports, like you said, like we talked about earlier. So it'll be definitely some of that in there as well. But I'm raw. I've been telling everybody to please take me as I am, that, I am a woman, I am a female, but I can roll with the best of them when it comes to talking sports. So I think that you guys will enjoy it for sure.
I know I'm going to be listening, and I know it's going to be awesome. So
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me, Jeff.
The Cowboys visit the Rams in the divisional playoffs. With me to talk about it is Skyler Burkardt. He is host of Pylon Podcast and editor for Downtown Rams. Skyler, welcome to the broadcast.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Joe. I'm excited to be here.
Well, you should be excited about the Rams too. They had a great year, and they got the bye, which I think is huge. What do you think of the Rams and their chances against the Cowboys?
I think we have a really good chance. Out of all the matchups we could have had in the playoff scenarios, getting the Bears eliminated definitely was a big plus for us. And going against Dallas, a familiar foe that we go against pretty often, I think is a plus for us. We both have the young running backs, but even with Dallas's really strong secondary, I think we can utilize our run game to really put it to our advantage.
Yeah, it's funny. Both teams have really strong running backs. But is Todd Gurley okay? Is he having any injury issues?
He just got cleared today from what I saw, so he's good to go. He was for the last week resting the knee that he apparently hurt around the Chiefs game. And he's been nursing that for quite a while. So they gave him the rest through the bye week, and he was cleared and good to go for today when he went and tried it out this morning. So he is good to go for the matchup against Dallas.
That's good. And I mean, even if he's not 100%, you could throw C.J. Anderson in here. He had some pretty good games at the end.
Yeah, definitely. He's been a great help to us. He's not as good pass catching back as Gurley is, but he definitely can carry the workload. McVay even said that they're most likely going to be splitting the workload this week, which will definitely keep Gurley healthy going further into the playoffs.
Are you concerned about the Rams' run defense since the Cowboys are such a good rushing team?
I'm not too worried. Ever since I told a lot of people this, once we got Talib back in our secondary, that would really help solidify our defense. And we have gotten better at stopping the run by adding him back, because now we can kind of put everything on our heels secondary and let our front four just go to work. So I think we're going to play a lot better this game and kind of contain Zeke a little bit better. I think Zeke will still get over 100 yards rushing, but it's not going to be anything crazy like over 125. I don't think. I think we'll contain.
Yeah, you can't stop him from shut him down completely, but yeah, just contain him. I gotta tell you, Aaron Donald is he's from the Pittsburgh area, and he also went to Pitt, so I'm a big Pitt fan, so I am in love with him. And he is he might be the best defensive player in the NFL.
He's incredible. I unfortunately have not been able to see him in training camp due to his contract issues the last 2 years, but I'm excited to see him this year when I go. But just watching him on tape and on TV, that kid is just amazing what he can do. Double team, triple team. We even saw when he was playing against the Lions. There's nothing that can stop him. He just wrecks havoc in the back.
Yeah, he's amazing. Yeah, it's weird they say the Rams run defense isn't that great, but their pass defense is awesome. I'm not sure how there could be such a difference there, but the Cowboys passing game isn't that great, and so if they do have to pass, then they might be in trouble.
I definitely agree with that. They were, but what was it? Amari Cooper came out and said that he knows Talib and Peters inside and out from his time in Oakland, and he thinks he has the upper advantage in this matchup. I'm thinking to myself, well, Peters and Talib have the same thing. They know you inside and out.
Right.
Two people that know you pretty well. So how is that going to affect? And even Talib came out and said he's going to pretty much shut him down. There's going to be no question about that. Amari Cooper is good, but Talib's just such a veteran presence. And with the safeties that the Rams have, I'm pretty sure we're going to have to rely on the Cowboys running the ball a lot more than they'd like to.
Yeah. Yeah. Is there any concern about Goff? Because, last year it was kind of the same. They had a similar season, but then in the playoffs they didn't do as well. Do you think maybe a little more experience would help Goff?
I think the experience definitely will help. Goff had a little struggle here towards the end of the season, but we can't really put it all on him. Against the Chiefs, he put up almost 50 attempts at passing in that game, and they kept leaning on him very heavily. Turned out to be because of the Gurley. Once they got C.J. Anderson there, they started to run the ball, which opened up their play action and started getting back to their basics of their offense, which was to move Robert Woods around in that the kind of motion to figure out where that man is. And that opened up Goff to be able to see, okay, this guy's playing man, they're playing in zone, and lets him read that defense better pre-snap. And once they got back to that, now Goff is starting to get into his groove again. He's getting more comfortable. And I think we'll see a much better Goff here in the.
Yeah. Yeah. So do you what percentage chance do you give the Rams of winning this?
I definitely would give them 60 to 65%. Anything's possible, especially with this Cowboys team, how good their pass defense is, and Zeke can take control of the game. I don't buy into the Dak Prescott better than Goff talks that have been going on lately. Even just with the eye test, don't get me wrong, Dak has been great in the fourth quarter as of recent, but over the few years that he's played with the Cowboys, he's been very inconsistent and makes a lot of silly throws where, he has wide open guys and his accuracy has been the issue. And with Goff at the helm, especially with McVay and the creative offensive mind that he has, and especially with Wade Phillips, the veteran presence there on defense and seeing every kind of offense thrown at him, I think the Rams have that advantage at 60 to 65%.
Yeah. Yeah. And then if they do beat the Cowboys, then they'll probably go to New Orleans, and that'll be a rematch, and that'll be really good. How do you think they'll go up against the Saints the second time around?
It's going to be scary. I've said this all year. I feel like the Saints have been holding back on Kamara, and I think once the playoffs hit, and we're going to see it this weekend, I think they're just going to unleash the playbook with Kamara, and we're going to see them